Scott Hunter here, sitting down with former Smash Wrestling champion Tarik as we take a look back at a match before he was the champion, going one-on-one with Zack Sabre Jr. at the first ever Smash Wrestling versus Progress Wrestling. Tarik, how's it going, buddy?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Keeping busy, which is the main thing. How are you doing with all the gyms closed?
Oh, dude, man, I got my bootleg gym set up upstairs. It's just my wife's room with some light weights, but just reps, man. It's going all right. I'm trying to keep sane, you know what I mean?
Well, that's the main thing, man. Keep it sane. I'm trying to do, too. I don't know if I'm succeeding so much. But we're sitting down today. We're going over a match. This is, and again, as I said, this is before you're champion. This is going back to our days at the Franklin Horner Community Center, which I know has been a pretty big building in terms of significance of your career. Talk about the building a little bit.
Oh, man, that's where it all started for me, man. There's a special feeling when it comes to that building. I don't know what it is, if it's just the history or so much of my rise, you know, like came within that building, and it's always got a special place. So I never forget it. And when anybody talks about it, I always put it over me, because honestly, to me, it's a building that we as wrestlers, you know, you travel frequent different buildings and whatnot, but that one for sure, that one stands out.
Well, and I think it's odd, because I think a lot of us that have been kind of in Smash since the beginning, this building has a special place in our hearts, and it's odd because it's just a gym, and we've got a lot bigger venues and a lot more aesthetically pleasing venues than the Franklin Horner Community Center. But it's almost like anytime we go back, it's almost like going back to the walls of your high school, where it's not so much.
That's what it is, man. It's like, it doesn't matter even what it is, man. It could literally be a barn for all I care, right? But it's the passion and the feeling you get from the history of this, and this is something that stands out to a lot of the guys, man. Like, it's one of those things where you never ever forget it, because it was such a big factor.
Well, and that's the history is the main thing. It's the history that takes place within the walls of the building is always more important than the building, and I think it's the history that makes this place something else for us. And as we take a look, Jimmy Corderas is the ref for this match, and you and him had a little bit of history in Smash as well there.
Oh yeah, we go way back, man.
So you're going one-on-one with Zack Sabre Jr. Had you wrestled Zack Sabre Jr. before going into this match, or was this the first time?
No, never. And here's the thing, man. Like, I kept tabs on a lot of wrestling in general around the globe, and I've always heard about him. And I watched some tapes ahead of time before our match happened. But I really didn't know what to expect. And but no, that was the first time we ever locked up.
Well, and his style, I think, meshes pretty well with your style as well, where you kind of get like almost like that Mac technician, that grappler, versus you kind of rely a lot more on the striking and the speed. But it's like that clash of styles. For whatever reason, it always seems to click very well.
Yeah, you know, that's where I find a lot of success too with that is the different like styles. They definitely do clash, and it can go one way, and you know, it could be not a good thing, or you know, it could be something that is so far out that nobody thought it would be that good, but it actually ends up being really, really good just because the style is so different.
Oh, for sure. And I think this is kind of one of the first really true tests for you as an individual performer within Smash Wrestling, because you started out as Alex Vega, and I mean that the story there has been well documented, and you were gone for a bit, you came back as Tarik, and you formed Fourth Gun. But this is really one of the first really big matches you had outside of Fourth Gun, where Gargano is gone, and the rest of Fourth Gun is gone, and now you're really on your own, standing on your own. So what does this match itself mean for you at this point of your career?
Oh, this is a big turning point for you, man. Like, this is one of those matches where it really was sink or swim, right? Like, you know, you have the opportunities, and the company gives you the opportunities, but it's really up to me, really, as a performer, to knock them out of the park, right? So, I mean, people can give you the matches, and if you don't deliver, then you'll see it. You'll see it in the work. You'll see the either the gradual increase not happen, or you'll just stay like this, right? So people can push you to the moon, man, but if you're not able to actually deliver, and the fans can tell, man. But this is one of those matches where it was now is the time to actually put in the work and show people that, like, how good I am.
Well, and I think that's a testament as well, where Zack Sabre Jr. is coming in. He's a name that people know. People all around the world know who Zack Sabre Jr. is. not
Yeah,
everybody, and not to discredit you, but not everybody around the world necessarily might know who Tarik is.
I agree.
So to be in the ring with a Zack Sabre Jr. and to not just hang in the ring with him, but to perform at the level you are in the ring with him, I think it kind of opened up a lot of eyes to Tarik.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's like I said, man. Like when I try to go places that I have never been before, any uncharted territories or places I've never been, I always try to leave an impression, right? And by the end of it, you want people saying, "Whoa, wait a second, I remember that guy, man. He was good. I didn't expect him to be that good." And that's pretty much me in a nutshell, man. People always see me. He looks like he's in shape. He looks like he's a wrestler. But what happens in that 10 to 15 minute span of your opportunity to show people, right? Because people are sitting there and they're watching. So now is your time to tell the story of you as a professional wrestler.
Well, and that's a great point that you bring up too. And it's almost anytime you get an opportunity against a name that's brought into the promotion, it's almost like an audition for you as
Yeah.
well. Because like, talk about how important it is to have your name be passed around locker rooms in a good light.
Well, that's the thing, man. The opportunities are rare, in this industry when you have a good opportunity to knock it out of the park, right? And if you flub up and you mess up, we're all human, right? But you really need to be firing on all cylinders. And that goes around, man, like from locker room to locker room. And after a while, your peers, they respect you. Right? But there might be some jealousy and some envy and whatnot, but that's a part of every industry, where there's opportunity. But definitely something that I don't really worry about. I just go out there and just bust my ass, man. And I've always been a very competitive guy, man. A humbly competitive guy, but I always want to prove that I'm the best and show people that I'm very, very good at what I do.
Well, and you've got a work ethic in Smash Wrestling that, like, as far as I'm concerned, is second to none. And this match here is one of those matches that kind of put you on the radar in terms of the main event scene in Smash Wrestling, because I think prior to this you were seen as a member of a faction, but you weren't necessarily the focal point of that main event faction, as Johnny Gargano was the champion. So he was obviously the focal point at the time of Fourth Gun. But this was really kind of what set you to kind of that main event level, and you haven't looked back since.
Yes, I agree. It's one of those matches where it really is a crucial point in my career that sometimes it's overlooked by many people, but the match is beautiful, man. I love that match. I didn't know what to expect, and I remember it vividly. We were reviewing this match, but it's one of those things where I can recall it quite literally from bell to bell, and it's one of those things where it stays with me, right? When it comes to Tarik's all-time matches, it's definitely in there for sure.
Do you remember where you were when you saw the graphic that announced this match?
Yeah, I think nobody really gave me the ins on what I was exactly doing, but I remember just getting home after the gym and just kind of hanging out and having some dinner and whatnot, and seeing the graphic on it and feeling a bit of nerves, right? That always happens when there's little big matches. I don't really get super nervous before my matches because I'm prepared for it, but just seeing the graphic and knowing that, hey, wait a second, this guy's a top guy, and here's my chance to show him. I always try to spin it in my head as it's happening, just to instill some more confidence within myself, right? Because half the time, man, this is a mental game, right? Professional wrestling in general is very tough as a wrestler mentally. But no, man, it's I remember just sitting down, just by myself, reading or watching some clips of his matches after I found out about the match, and I was excited, man. I was excited because here's a chance once again to prove myself to somebody who doesn't know me, doesn't know my work. But word of mouth is so crucial in wrestling,
So walk me through this day then, because you said you remember the match pretty vividly. Do you remember at all, like, kind of the day leading up to the match itself?
Yeah, it's just a bit of nerves, right? You know what I mean? I was definitely a bit uneasy, but as I got to the venue, I was happy, man. I got a chance to actually hop in the ring with somebody who's far on a world-class wrestler, right? So I was all good to go. Mentally, I was good to go, man. I was ready to perform. Cardio-wise, top peak. I was ready to go.
Well, and I think that there's the parts of this day that I can remember is that the whole day, it's not just this match that you had with Zack Sabre Jr., but the whole day was built around Smash Wrestling versus Progress Wrestling. And this was really, as a promotion, it meant a lot to all of us because it was putting the whole promotion on the same level as a Progress Wrestling. And I think going into it, we all believed that we were at the same level. But it's one thing to
Yeah,
think it, and it's another thing to have it happen and know it. Did you kind of get that same sense?
yeah, I love these little collaborations when promotions come together because there's a market on both ends, right? That you know certain fans just don't know about, and to treat people with some of the world class athletes that Smash has to offer, right? For their wrestling fan base to see it, it's awesome, man. That's why I tell people don't take it for granted because this is the new fan base that's seeing you, and it's like I said, right? Here's your chance to impress. You might be in your home promotion, in the building that you're comfortable with, but at the same time, you always got to be on your feet and ready because you're proving yourself to different fan bases that's seeing you for the first time.
Well, and Progress Wrestling is a promotion that has a massive reputation behind it, and I can kind of remember when as they were all showing up to the building, kind of the feeling that you got, like, oh, this is a real thing. This is it's not a hypothetical anymore. These guys are really here. And talk a little bit about, because I know I've been with you on some trips out east, where it was kind of that we were on the opposite end of that, where we're going into promotions where they're looking at the Smash Wrestling guys as, oh wow, this is real. So it's kind of neat to be on both ends of that spectrum.
Yeah, it's when you go to these, especially like the Maritimes one, right? They treat you with a different aura. It's like you're some sort of like superstar, and that's really not the case. I mean, Smash has done a lot of great things for me as a wrestler, but I'm a human just like they are, man. I'm a professional wrestler just like they are. But the brand, right? The aura of that brand is something that in Canada and some places even in America and in Europe and whatnot, the brand is recognized as something that's elite, right? Something that is at the top of the scale when it comes to professional wrestling. So it's good to be associated with that, and people think, well, wait a second, he's better than what he actually is, So it's nice to meet some people for the first time also that know my work without even meeting them, right? So they've obviously went out of time to watch the programming, right? And whether it's been randomly just come on throughout their day, or if they've searched out the match and know a bit about it. So that's always nice being on somebody's radar before you even actually meeting them.
Well, and I think that it's matches like this and shows like this one that kind of help elevate the brand as a whole, not just yourself, but you still, as you said, at the end of the day, you still have to go out there and perform to meet those expectations, or in some cases even exceed those expectations. But it's matches like this definitely elevate that mystique of what Smash Wrestling is.
Oh yeah, I agree, man, 100%. Like I said, they'll give you the matches, right? The promotion will give you the matches, but fans aren't stupid, man. They're going to be able to pick out and choose, and they'll see the hard work that people put into it, right? So you're going to get what you put into it, right? So if you're lazy, man, if you're not willing to step up, you're not willing to really leave it all out there. When I say really leave it all out there, really bust that leave it out there, man. And that's when it counts. When you're blown up and out of wind and you've got nothing left, that's when you have to keep pushing through it, man. That at a high level, that's what it takes, from my knowledge.
What gives you that drive? As you said, kind of when you're blown up to keep going, whereas most people would stop at that point. What is it about you that allows you to keep pushing through that and keep going?
Like I said, man, I'm a silent competitor. Many people don't really know that about me, but come on, we're not stupid, man. As a professional wrestler, if you want to be the best, this is what it takes. Not to say that you don't respect others that put in just as much work or more, but you try to be your best, right? I have a certain honor to myself, right? That I owe to myself to be the best performer that I can, right? I'm not lazy when it comes to this type of stuff, so I want to make sure that physically I'm in the best shape that I can be when it comes to these long matches, right? Or heavy matches where we're putting a lot of work in. You want to make sure that your cardio is good, and I train a certain way in the gym to aid in the help that. You don't run into issues where you're super tired. That's why I was telling these newer guys, make sure your cardio is one of your main focal points, right? Because you need it, man. If you're going to be pushed, now you step up to where the big boys are, man. You're in a ring with somebody who's going to try to blow you up, inadvertently or not. So it's super important, man.
Well, honestly, it's a good point you brought up. I've done a few of these interviews now, and everybody seems to bring up cardio, so there's definitely got to be something to it.
Oh yeah. People think wrestling is all song and dance, and for the most part, some of it is, right? It's entertainment. This is nothing new that people don't know, but there's still an athletic background to it, and at least there is for me. Right? I can never get around by having a 20-minute comedy match. Right? And it's not my style. I can work that type of style with somebody else. However, this is the cards that I've picked, and this is what it is, right? at a high level. You have to show some sort of athleticism, and that's Tarik, man. It's 0 to 100, man, real quick, you know.
Well, the match has now come to an end. You weren't victorious in this match, but what was the aftermath of this match? What kind of reception did you get from your peers?
Yeah, I remember walking through the curtains to go back to the locker room, and people just being so happy with it. You know what I mean? And I think it may have been greed. I may have been greed just walked up to me saying, "Hey, man, you went in there and you looked like you belonged." You know, like nothing about it was, you flubbed up or screwed up. You didn't look like you weren't supposed to be in there. You looked like you belonged with that guy. You look like you're at the top of your game. So I remember getting a lot of good feedback, and up to today, man, I still get feedback on that match, and it's one of those ones that I'm very proud of, and I really enjoyed. And hopefully, I love to hop in there again one day.
Well, I'm sure I know a guy that can probably make that happen. But Tarik, thank you so much for sitting down with us today and kind of going back and taking a look back at this career-defining match for you within Smash Wrestling. Appreciate you taking some time out of your day, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. Go enjoy the sun, man.
Thanks, bro.